Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And I am here today to give you guys an update on the case involving Brianna Williams. Brianna Williams is the mother of Taylor Rose Williams, who was reported missing back in, I believe it was 2019. And so for those of you who are new to my channel, I was doing a series of videos on black girls that were reported missing and unfortunately ended up their bodies were found. They ended up being killed, and Taylor Rose Williams was one of those little girls. She was 5 years old when her mother Brianna reported her missing in Jacksonville, Florida. And through the investigation, her body was found. I believe it was in Alabama. And I'll go through the timeline in addition to posting the links to the videos that I did on this story. And those links and some of the other stories will flow across the top of the screen. So be on the lookout for those, and you can click on it and get more details. Well, Brianna Williams was in court the other day, and she finally broke and decided to plead guilty to the death of her daughter. And there isn't much details coming out about why she entered that plea of guilty. If there was a plea negotiation behind the scenes, they're not saying, because she was never officially charged in the death of her daughter. And so something was going on behind the scenes, and I'm sure as time goes on, we'll learn more about that. But CBS 47 in Jacksonville is reporting that Brianna Williams pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of her 5-year-old daughter, Taylor Rose Williams, on Thursday. Williams had not been formally charged with murder in her daughter's death prior to her court appearance Thursday morning. She faced charges of aggravated child abuse, lying to police, and tampering with evidence in connection. Court documents filed by the state attorney's office accused the mother of torturing, maliciously punishing, or caging her daughter between April and November of 2019. Williams was a Naval Petty Officer First Class at the Tactical Operations Center at Naval Air Station Jacksonville at the time of her arrest, and she now faces up to life in state prison with a minimum sentence of more than 20 years, according to new court documents. On November 6, 2019, Williams called the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to report her daughter missing and the back door to her Brentwood home unlocked. A massive search effort and investigation followed, during which Williams became uncooperative. Police said Williams lied with police about several key timeline facts about her daughter's disappearance. 8 agencies took part in the initial search and investigation for the missing child, including FBI in Jacksonville. As our community has shown over the past few days, there's a lot of love for Taylor here, even those who have never even met her, and we want you to know that we will do anything we can do to bring her home. And that was Rachel Rojas with the FBI, and she made that statement back in 2019 during the investigation. And so investigators discovered that Williams, days prior to Taylor's disappearance, traveled to a remote area of Alabama where she briefly stayed before immediately returning to Jacksonville. A search of Williams' phone records showed she made 3 separate trips to and from Alabama, October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd. During the initial investigation, a neighbor who lived near Taylor and Brianna Williams at the Southside apartment complex, told detectives he saw the little girl alone and wandering the complex multiple times. In a warrant, he claimed he first noticed Taylor alone on April 17th, 2019. He said he took the child back to the apartment and told her to lock the door. He described the inside of the apartment as cluttered with trash bags and boxes stacked on top of each other. The same neighbor said he continued to see Taylor home alone at least every other day, explaining that Taylor would wave to him from her apartment. He said she was always wearing the same pajamas and holding the same doll. He said Williams' car was never in the apartment parking lot during these times. And it's important to notate here that although he was keeping an eye out sort of for Taylor, he knew something was going on, and this happens a lot. People are fearful of, I don't know if fearful is the correct word, but people will see stuff going on with children, but they maybe have this sense that the kids are worse off in foster care than they are with their parents. They think that maybe the parents is having trouble with child care, that type of thing, and so they're reluctant to get involved and report this type of behavior to the authorities. But as we see more and more and more cases, like, you guys don't understand the number of stories, the cases out there involving parents who have taken the lives of their young children. It is like of epidemic proportions. Okay, don't get me started. Okay, let me get back to the story because I get so angry when I think about this. So Taylor had also previously attended kindergarten, and that's kinder, Kinder, and then garden, a play on kindergarten, the first level of education, a daycare facility in Jacksonville. Detectives said records revealed the last time Taylor went to the facility was April 10, 2019. Both Taylor's maternal and paternal grandparents said they haven't seen Taylor in over a year. And so although all of this took place in November of 2019, it is believed that she actually killed the daughter around May of 2019. And so that leaves us to believe that she actually had her body in the apartment, or perhaps in the trunk of the car. Like, they believe that she buried her in like the end of October, around that time, but she may have died much earlier. And when they did the autopsy, they were not able to determine the cause of death. And I don't believe they ever stated how long they believed that she had been gone. So the Demopolis Police Department in Alabama announced on November 12, 2019, that human remains were found in the area where Williams traveled and stopped. Forensic analysis later confirmed the remains belonged to Taylor. Sources said the remains were found in trash bags. Forensic analysis confirmed the remains belonged to Taylor. The medical examiner noted there were signs of neglect or severe illness, but a definitive cause of death could not be determined. The 5-year-old is believed to have died several weeks to several months prior to being found. Williams was rushed to UF Health, and this is Brianna Williams, the mother, was rushed to UF Health in serious condition from an apparent overdose on the same day as remains were found. Police said she was found unresponsive at Naval Air Station, Jacksonville. She was later arrested and booked into the Duval County Jail, and her sentencing is scheduled for May 11th. So there was a couple of things that were revealed as this story was unfolding, and one which really bothered me was the family was saying that, they hadn't seen her. I guess she used to come to visit, then all of a sudden she stopped coming to visit. So they hadn't seen Brianna or the daughter, I believe, in almost a year. And then we have here in this article, it was saying that the grandparents on both sides hadn't seen her in over a year. The father was very detached when the detectives went and spoke to him about when was the last time he saw the daughter. He was very detached emotionally from the situation. So not sure if he really had a connection. Maybe he was involved in the death. I don't know. But he just wasn't too concerned. Somebody came and told me my 5-year-old daughter was missing. I would be very angry and very irate, but he didn't display any emotion, as I recall, when that took place. And then I'll give you guys a brief timeline of events that happened. And, as I said previously, I'll post the links above if you want to go back and see the content that I did on this story. And I thought I had an article open here. Oh, here it is with the timeline. So hold on for a second, because this chick was really crazy. She was going to work like nothing was going on. The whole thing happened. She was moving out of the house that she was living in, because I guess having her deceased daughter's body in the house was driving her crazy. And that's when and then she reported the daughter missing. But then the people who helped her move, because she went on Craigslist looking for people to help her move, and the people that came to help her move said that although there were children's items in the house that they were moving to the new place, they never saw the little girl. And so they thought that that was odd and weird. And so her biggest mistake, I believe, may have been reporting the daughter missing. But I guess if she had only buried her the week prior or 2 weeks prior, then maybe she thought she needed to come up with a reason as to why the daughter hadn't moved to the new place. But even as this was going on, as they were investigating the disappearance, she was still going to the naval base and acting like everything was okay and just crazy. Okay, so on Wednesday, November 6, 2019, Taylor's mother, Brianna Williams, a petty officer, first class at NAS Jacksonville, which is Naval Air Station, tells police that this is the last time she saw Taylor inside their Brentwood home on Ivy Street. On Wednesday, November 6, Williams told police she spoke up at this time and that she woke up at this time and did not see Taylor inside the house. She also said the home's back door was open. Also on the 6th, officers is dispatched to the Williams home on Ivy Street. Taylor is listed as a missing person after the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office contacts the National Crime Information Center. JSO, which is the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, sends a notice to the media and to the public via social media that Taylor is missing. Florida Department of Law Enforcement issues a Florida missing child alert for Taylor. The missing child alert for Taylor is upgraded to a Florida Amber Alert. JSO confirms it is also searching an apartment complex on the south side called Southside Villas, where the family used to live. The Brentwood home and the apartment complex are 16 miles apart. Sky Action News Jacksonville spotted JSO's dive team searching water near Southside Villas. A dumpster is escorted by JSO from the Southside Villas apartment complex to a tow yard on Phillips Highway. The dumpster's contents are emptied on the ground. And all of this is happening on November 6th. JSO Chief Investigations TK Waters said the search for Taylor will continue into the night. A JSO truck with lights and a JSO crime scene van arrives at the tow yard on Phillips Highway. And then on the following day, they continue the search for her. And I'm not going to read all the details on that search. They're just giving the timeline of everything that they did. And then on November 8th, the search for missing Taylor enters its third day. And so far, hundreds of officers and volunteers have come up empty-handed. On November 10th, the Demopolis Police Department said Sunday afternoon it is assisting the FBI and other out-of-state agencies in a search for a missing person around the Demopolis area. Demopolis is about 15 miles away from where Brianna previously lived. And then on the 11th, Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams said Monday that Brianna Williams is now a person of interest in her daughter's disappearance. He asked anyone who has seen Taylor and her mother between Jacksonville and Alabama in the past few weeks to contact them. The sheriff also asked anyone who has seen Brianna Williams' vehicle, a 2017 black Honda Accord, between Jacksonville and Alabama in the past 2 weeks to contact police. Then on the 12th, the Demopolis Police Department said human remains were found during the search for Taylor Rose Williams. Forensic tests still need to be done to confirm the identity. Taylor's mother, Brianna Williams, was taken to a hospital after being found unconscious at the Naval Air Station, Jacksonville, because of an apparent overdose. And then on the 13th, a warrant for Brianna Williams details what led to charges against her in the disappearance of her daughter. She is facing 2 charges of child neglect. And then a neighbor who lived near Taylor and Brianna Williams told detectives he saw Taylor alone and wandering the apartment complex multiple times. And he said that he first noticed Taylor alone on April 17, 2019. And I believe that same neighbor said the last time he saw her was in May. So then on November 21st, Brianna Williams is moved from the hospital to Duval County Jail. On November 23rd, a vigil was held for Taylor. On the 25th, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office confirms that the remains found in Demopolis, Alabama, are those of 5-year-old Taylor Williams. December 3rd, the court date of Taylor Williams' mom, Brianna, is moved to December 18th. Brianna Williams is charged with child neglect, lying to police with connection to the disappearance of her daughter. And then on December 13th, Brianna Williams' arraignment was supposed to take place, but again, it was pushed out to January 2nd. And then throughout 2020, they start releasing evidence that was shedding light on, the state gathering information and evidence in the case against Brianna Williams. Then on March 3rd of 2020, newly released video was among the evidence the state gathered in the case against Brianna Williams. She became physically ill in the courtroom when she is told she is a person of interest in the disappearance of her daughter. A search of Williams' vehicle found the trunk floor covered in rubber liner. So she may have been keeping the daughter in the trunk of the car all this time. Then in June 25th, 2020, hundreds of pieces of evidence in the investigation into Taylor Williams' death were made public. November 6, 2020 marked 1-year anniversary that Taylor Rose was reported missing. December 1st, 2020, an autopsy report reveals that medical experts can't determine how Taylor Williams died. And then in Wednesday, December 9, 2020, more than 100 new body cam videos are released as evidence in the case. And an expert says that Brianna Williams showed no real emotion in the new body camera videos that were released. And then on March 3rd, 2022, which was this week, Brianna Williams pled guilty to second-degree murder in the 2019 death of her 5-year-old daughter, Taylor Rose Williams. So just wanted to give you guys this update. From time to time, you all will message me and say, Tracy, what happened with this case? Or Tracy, what was the outcome, of that incident that you reported a couple of years ago? So I'm trying to do better with going back and researching and giving you guys, updates to these cases. And this was one of those instances where I was like, man, I wonder whatever happened with the Taylor Rose Williams case. And when I Googled, I found out that just the other day, her mom pled guilty to her death. So go ahead, leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.